Hi all. Right, just one thing to catch up on. I made comments regarding a few things. I fixed two of them, or talked about two of them. But the last one main was this deploying of this cavalry unit in here adjacent to the detachment. And maybe I should have thought that doesn't seem right. The normal deployment says you can't deploy them adjacent or in an attachment hex. Why should the strategic reserve deployment be any different? Well, I guess because it doesn't say it doesn't say that you need to have it can't be deployed adjacent or in the detachment hex with strategic reserve deployment. Doesn't say it on the player aid either. It only mentions it within the normal deployment rules. But however, maybe I should have looked into that a wee bit more. And within 15.22, no, that feels like that's wrong. Hang on. Oh yeah, which is effects of detachments on allied movement and deployment. Just find the relevant bit. Where is it? Yeah, an allied reserve unit may not be placed in or adjacent to a hex with a German detachment, but may be placed 2 or more hexes away. So it speaks there about just an allied reserve. It doesn't mention if it's strategic reserve or if it's normal reserve. So that kind of tells me that any kind of reserve deployment wouldn't be allowed to do what I've done here. I do think within the rule 7.1 and 7.11, well, in particular 7.11 should also mention it in there, but it's obviously something you maybe just assume to sort of take for granted. But I mean, that's not the case. It gives you all the other restrictions, 5 hexes away and whatever, but it doesn't mention the detachment situation. So we will take it that it's not allowed, going by the actual 15.22 detachment rules. So I'm just going to pick this guy up and put him here. Now, I did talk about having a unit that could get towards R1, and I suppose there is some new information in the fact that these 3 units have deployed here. So whether me putting this here is a little... Does that feel like a little bit sort of bending the rules a little bit, knowing that I know these guys are here? I've brought this guy from here. I mean, illegal deployment here to like here. I don't know how I can make it. I mean, I suppose I could make it fairer by deploying it maybe here or here. I mean, I don't know why I would. I mean, the whole point was to try and get these detachments out of the way. Or, well, in particular, I think I mentioned that if I activate this core, it's going to be adjacent to the detachment, so that detachment will come away, and that was the whole point of it. So that was the whole reason to kind of deploy them in that area. So normally, I mean, if I knew that wasn't the case, I would have deployed them down here beside these buddies. So I'm going to go with that. I hope you don't think that that's... I mean, it's not that these guys are threatening R1. I mean, if anything, they're threatening some support against Bastogne here. But I mean, these 2 stats were deployed okay. So I'm just going to put the cavalry unit there. We'll just be done with that. That's as good as I can get. Okay, so on to an allied impulse. And I've been scratching my head long and hard before starting this recording about what I wanted to do. Because, I'll show you my cards. Hang on. So there's the cards I've got. The 2 12 core cards, I really don't have any use to do anything with the units. So it'd be nice to... This one's a reinforced battle, so I've got my eye on that. And this is also artillery, so even replacing points with them, I don't think I can make use of. So I've not really got a main use for them. The 5th Corps got a reinforced battle as well. Again, I don't really have I could maybe move the infantry unit out of Hugh or Way a wee bit further north to try and help out Liège, but it's got. I don't know. I don't really see the need for that one either. Now this one, 82nd Airborne are there, so I did think about could I do something with them. In actual fact, that's a little bit of a thought there. This is a big card, this one, because I know I was kicking myself about the fact that this was 84th Infantry Division. They also had air power on it. It's also got assault coordination on it, which we've not got that many of. I think that's possibly the first one that's came up. But not only that, I didn't mention the fact that this is also the 3rd Armoured Division, and I'm sure some of you spotted that. And of course, the 3rd Armoured Division, this is one of the 3rd Armoured Division units in Liège. The other one's down here outside Dufay. So another one is this guy. So, how I was kicking myself that I couldn't get any infantry into here? Well, I could move that guy into there. If I wanted to support that hex, I could move this guy out and in. If I wanted to be in here and feel a wee bit more comfortable about them moving into this hex, I'm not so sure that's necessary. Like we've talked about, none of these units can cross. Even with an infiltration move, none of them can cross. So I don't know if that's really that important. Other thoughts are, I could possibly have the supplemental card to activate the 7 Corps. I've got 3 cards in the deck. One of them I know is the Corps Artillery, so 2 mystery cards. We don't know what they are. What I'm hoping they are the supplemental card for the 7th Corps and supplemental card for the 3rd Corps, the units I just brought in. The likelihood of that is, probably very slim. But and again, the 3rd Corps card only came in this day, so it could be. It certainly wasn't played yesterday, but it doesn't mean to say that it's not. It's in there. The 7 Corps supplemental card might have been played yesterday. I can't keep track of the cards, so maybe I should try and pay more attention to that. But so if the 2 cards are in the drop pile, that's great. I could, move some of these infantry into Liège, move this unit into here, do that move into there if I feel it's necessary. That would be great. I just don't know. So the thing is, I kind of maybe want to keep this card, not play it just yet. I've got 5 cards in my hand, so I'm not going to be able to, if I just pass, for instance, I'm not going to draw 1. And what's the chances it'll maybe be the Corps Artillery again, and I'll be saying, right, what do I do now? So I really kind of want to maybe play a card. I was talking about the fact that this was maybe interesting regarding 82nd, and I'll show you that. But again, it's meaning using that, which I feel like is my best card in my hand at the minute. Activating 82nd Airborne. There's two of them here. The other one's zoom out a little bit. The other one's down here in St Hubert. I'd be a bit reluctant to move him. In fact, no, he can't reach anyway. Could he? No, he couldn't. But I'm thinking they 2 could have a go against this guy, and we've got that assault coordination. But again, it's this card. It's the card that I'm talking about to involve these 2 units too, and an attack on that. So that's something as well. I just don't like to play that 7 Corps division card just yet, but it means I'm going to have to do something just random, because I want to be able to draw at least 2 cards. I'd like to draw all 3. So yeah, just not sure. And of course, one of the other main uses for this card is using the air power event to air supply, probably Bastogne, get these guys back in supply. But again, I'd like to know if I've got the 3rd Corps card, supplemental card, because next impulse then move these 3rd Corps units around about this armoured unit, and we attack using a reinforced battle with these units that we've just brought back into supply. So that would be great. So it just feels like that 7 core division card is just too strong to chuck away just now. So what are you going to do, Grant? Okay, still struggling away here, trying to find my next move. Almost felt like, okay, I'm going to take a gamble and put these guys back in supply, but I just worried I want to keep that 7 core division card. Then I thought, this is one thing I'm still going to make my mind up on, is just maybe use this card for engineers. I don't really feel like I need to place roadblocks, build bridges, blow bridges. Blow bridges. That might be worth a look. The other option is putting an IP on a unit or stack. That feels an awful weak move, that, for one card play. Let's look at the blow bridges option, maybe. No, I don't really see the strength in that. If it's a German bridge, an allied unit's got to be proximate to it as well, but it needs to be an allied supply. One of the hexes need to be an allied supply to blow the bridge. Can't really see anything amazing that would do that. Now, the last resort could be just pass and draw one card. I'm tempted. I mean, they've got still a lot of cards to come. I just like to have dug 2 cards into my last 3, because if I draw the blooming core artillery again, I'm going to be like back at square one, really. I think I'm going to take a chance and do that though, because I do want to keep that card. And we held out up there up to now. I mean, if the first SS come and activate, or the second SS, it's going to be a similar attack, really. It's only going to be the 2 stats that are going to get to attack. And that's if they have assault coordination or get a reinforced battle like the last time. So we held out pretty easily there. I mean, things could have went differently. Okay, let's one last pause and I'll make my mind up. Okay, yeah, I'm going to pass. So I've got 5 cards in my hand, so I'm going to draw, hopefully not the core artillery card. Now let's have a look at something else. Okay. Right, come here. Oh, well, there we go. So it's the 3rd core. Oh, okay. Ooh, German plans intercepted. What does that do? German plans intercepted. Discard the top 3 cards from the German draw pile. Well, yeah, that would be nice, but come on, we can't be doing that. No, when we've got all these units here. Special ground freeze. What are we on? We're on the 21st, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, that's good then, because that's a chance of still coming back on the 23rd, isn't it? Yeah, good. Whatever that does as well. That's something to do with movement, I think. Anyway, so, well, we're going on to a German impulse, but now, so if we had took a chance, freed up these guys here with us, brought them back into supply, we would have been set up. So that gamble would have really paid off, but you know, if it could have went the other way. Yeah. Okay, so fingers crossed the Germans are going to do something just with another core, not I don't know. I think we can hold up wage. I think we're okay. It's all sort of backlog of traffic that's causing them trouble up there anyway. Right, let's get a German impulse. So I've still got a bit more time. Right, here goes. The 3rd core again. Oh, and the 1st SS. Oh well, okay. Right, they're both 3s, not a primary, so we're looking for the lowest card, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. Just gonna. That's the 36. That's the 70, because they've both got the same command value. No, you know what it is. It's a loose card. Which is a pity, because that event would have been bridge engineers, and they might have just done something random with it, like fix a bridge, which would have been fine. But that's not the case. So there's no event on this, so it's going to be the first SS. The special is ground freeze, which is on the 23rd. We're on the 21st, aren't we? So that's not going to happen. Oh, they're going to repair though. They're going to repair. Yeah, this is a supplemental card, isn't it? Well, that's good. And then they're not going to repair, they're going to activate, so that's bad, because I'm a bit worried about them closing in on Bastogne, the unit in Bastogne, which we're trying to sort of free up. Okay, so I think I'm going to assign 2 replacement points to the first SS, so let's go and have a look. Okay, so they've got a multitude of options, units, so 1, 2 replacement points, and they need to be in reserve supply, or need to be able to trace reserve supply, and because there's more than one, we're going in descending order, so we're looking for the highest one. That's a 35, 26 there. These 2 are reduced as well. That's a 34 and a 32. I'm sure there was a 36 possible, but there's a 33 way down here. Okay, I thought I'd seen it go up to 36, but okay, I think it does go to 36. It's actually this infantry unit here, but he's full strength. His reduced side is selector number 36. So I guess that means 35 is going to repair. You can trace reserve supply, and then what do we say after that? 33, is there not a 34 in here? No, not here, Grant. Here, isn't it? 32, yeah, 34 down the bottom, and yeah, he's good with tracing reserve supply as well. So repair him as well. Ooh, now does that enable a infiltration move now? Because remember I said before, infantry units, well, sorry, it needs to be a non-bracketed unit that can infiltrate. So he now is, let me just check that. Yeah, I think that would actually be the case. It says one non-bracketed unit only is eligible for this move if in supply and start with at least one other active non-bracketed unit that is not yet moved. And like say, the reason the mechanised units can't, because they can't go over the river, but it's just mechanised that can't do that. So if it got down to it and this unit hadn't done anything, the one on top, that infantry unit could infiltrate across that river. That would not be good. So to get that to happen though, they're needing the first SS card, but have we had the core card yet? Grant sneaking through there, looking at the discard pile. Sorry, Martin. Right, nah. So that's still to come. That's a worry. I think things would need to play out that way and for that unit not to do it, but the likelihood of that unit doing something's, it's very unlikely. He's probably going to sit there in his hex, and then when it comes round to unit selector number 14, you can then infiltrate across the river. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. So we need to consider that. What we really, well, because got because we got the card that we got. We want to use the 7 core card on the resupply situation. So, I think maybe not though. Maybe that means maybe I need to rethink that now and use it to activate the third armoured units. Move him into there. Move him out and in into there to stop that infiltration move. Okay, well let's see what the 53rd Corps are going to do first, because they might move towards Bastogne anyway, so that's that impulse over, and because I've still got a support card, it's going to come as another command card, and well, I would want to assign a replacement point, but these guys aren't damaged, they've just come on the board, so I'll bring the camera down and have a look. Okay, so like I say, there's nothing to repair, so they're going to activate. There's only 3 units in this corps, but they're good, strong units. One's a 3-stepper as well. So, no robots adjacent. The army objective marker is only at 2nd spot, but we're not adjacent, we're not proximate, sorry, or within 2 hexes of it. So it's just going to stay where it is just now. No reserves, no support card. Right, so looking at movement, let's see what they're going to do. Okay, interestingly, I think we're on movement method 3, cause surround. Move active non-bracket units each to a hex that if occupied by a unit would cause one or more allied units not surrounded to become surrounded. So I think this guy's going to come back the way. Ettelbruck, this unit in Ettelbruck's not surrounded. But this guy can go 1, 2, 3 into here, and then he is surrounded. I thought he could maybe reach another hit. I thought he could maybe reach this hit, but he can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't quite get right around there, but so yeah, I think he's going to come, and it goes in descending order. So it's unit number 4 is the highest number. So 1, 2, 3. Right, a couple of things going to happen. We're going to get a detachment here. I've run out of detachments again. Detachment here. We're now going to claim that bridge as well, which has been. That's going to make things more interesting regarding R1. We're going to have to watch R1 now, aren't we? I think, does that not make that unit, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because he's adjacent to an allied unit, so he's not quite proximate, but yeah, I'm going to have to watch for that. Okay, so moving on to the other 2 units. Okay, so movement methods 10 to 13, because these aren't infantry, they're mechanized infantry. Now hang on, that changes when? On the 23rd, yeah, on the 23rd, mechanized infantry do follow the rules, but we're not there yet. So they can't move the arrows. This would be going up, and then, or up into here, so they can't get their full movement out of the arrows. So going to move closer to the army objective. Now that's down here. Close to R1. And the only allied unit that they could move adjacent to would be the unit in Bastogne, but that's not going to be closer. They're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Well, sorry, I'm talking about unit selector number 1. He's only 5 away from his army objective there. If he moves to these 2 hexes, he's 6 away. So, however, could he move? Yeah, it's kind of restricted with the terrain here, isn't it? Forests and woods again. Yeah, I think this is going to be quite good for us, because he's just going to muddle through the forest here. I think he's just going to come, he's going to make 4 movement into here, into this other forest hex. That's going to be 1 hex closer to his army objective. They can't really reach it. I mean, you can go 3, 4, 5 to there, but that's not closer, it's still the same distance, and can't come round here, that's not getting any closer either. So I think this guy is going to move from there to there, so he's going to leave that detachment there, move into this hex. So that's one hex closer. Selector number 2. I dare say may well be doing the same. Arrows. 1, 2, 3 stops him. 1, 2, 3, 4 stops him. So he's not going to move the arrows. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's further away, isn't it? Oh, this is where I had another wee look at this. I mean, I'm thinking he's maybe just going to go at this. Because at the moment he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So obviously that's one hex closer. Or, in actual fact, no, I think he would join his buddy, wouldn't he? He would go 1, 5 into there. And then be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Yeah. Oh, actually, he might still do that then. Because I was looking at, he can come 1, 2, 3 into this square hex, 4 into this square hex, and then 5 into here, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away as well. So that is closer than what he is, isn't it? Yeah, but this one's 1, 2, 3, 4 away, isn't it? I prefer him going out there, to be honest, because that's looking, that then we definitely need to close R1. Well, I feel like we might have to do that anyway. And it does look like this cavalry unit's been of use putting them down there. Whether that's... yeah, well, let's not go into that, Grant. To be honest, I was trying to follow the rules and as they're written in the deployment, but I think there could be some clarification regarding that. But anyway, okay, right. Right, let's just double check that before. Yeah, I think fortunately for us, he's going to move 1 and then 4 more into the forest. Get some 2 hexes closer to his army objective. Yeah, no detachment issues there. So, yeah, I think that's it, but that's good. But I think our 3rd corps activation is probably going to put this cavalry unit down in R1, just in case. And then these guys, hopefully up here to have a go. Thing is, we do need to take that impulse in between to take the supply of, well, bring the guys back into supply. So there is a slight risk there, but there's nothing proximate. I mean, these units aren't proximate to R1 yet, and this one, remember, like I said. So there's not an immediate danger. Then again, we don't want them moving any further, closing the road off so that we can't come down. But right, okay. So that's the Germans' 2nd impulse over. Right, we've got more discards than cards now, but only just. We've still got a lot of cards to come. Right, I'm going to take a wee pause for now. We still have some time tonight, we'll see. Yeah, that's everything done. It was only these 3 units, so nothing more to look at regarding that corps. Right, okay, I'll take a break for now, guys, and I'll be back with the next Allied Impulse sometime soon. Okay, cheers. Hi all. One slight wee thing I just missed from that last German Impulse. Unfortunately, just able to pick it up now before we move on. This unit had moved adjacent to an Allied unit and finished his movement here, and I hadn't done a check. And it is a possibility. It's 1-to-1 odds. There's no adjustments to that. There's also no die modifiers, so it's going to have to be a low roll, but it should still be a roll, so give me a sec. Okay, so 1-to-1, no modifiers. It's 6, so probably unlikely with that one. Yeah, cancel less than 2 to 1 or defender in town. Yeah, so it'd have to be awful low. Okay, yeah. See, there's one I've managed to occasionally forget when moving adjacent to an allied unit, not to carry on follow up checking to see if it might want to attack. But however, I've just caught that one in time, so all is good. Right, so I was just watching back on the last bit of that video, just checking things, and obviously that's when I picked up that. But also thinking about my next move. Hopefully I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes going through it all with you, but I'll give you at least a little bit, hopefully. So I think initial thoughts withdrawing this card from that last pass that we had was to play this, get these guys back in supply. Admittedly then the Germans do get an impulse, and this is what's causing me to maybe not do this. And then to play this, to activate the 3rd Corps units here to come and attack this, playing a reinforced battle to get support for these newly back in supply units, and getting a great attack on this unit. So that sounds perfect, but we are going to have a German impulse in between with that option. And there's a couple of scary things that could happen in that German impulse. One, maybe not terribly worrying, but because R1's not proximate yet, German unit's not proximate to R1, but they are, because if these units were to move further, even just into that hex, which I think they might, well in actual fact, if they were to move close to the army objective, they might well move 3, 4, 5 into here. Yeah, I think they would move into here, being adjacent to this cavalry unit as well. So that then would be a problem, because not only are they then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 proximate to R1, they're shutting me off from getting down to R1 as well. So I suppose that is more worrying than I'm thinking. So I would need to hope that didn't happen, or hopefully still have some other option in place to come around the back and get something into R1. So there's that, but I think there's more worrying situation up in the north, and that was, as I talked about that last time, with this infantry unit repairing in this hex, there is a chance that if it got to it and this armoured unit on top hadn't made any movement, that the infantry unit would be able to infiltrate across the river, get himself adjacent to the Meuse, and obviously, well, maybe not a big threat on Liège, but it's all about getting himself adjacent to the Meuse and then being able to release the OKW units, which I've been trying to avoid for a while now, and maybe not making the best job at it, but getting lucky up to now. So I think that's possibly more the worry. So here's what I was thinking about. I mean, I can't cover all the options, but what I'm actually thinking about is not resupplying these units, playing this to fix the situation up at Liège, move the 3rd Armoured units, one to stop the infiltration and one to move in to cover, to support that hex adjacent to Liège, you know, the one that the infantry unit's in. And then the next impulse, still doing this, but just using these units on their own to go and not worry about this, because what I started thinking was, if we can do something to that unit just by retreating them, even or not even that, we're going to move a unit into here, which will enable this guy to trace supply in the next day, next supply phase. So that brings them out of supply anyway, so brings them out of supply. So that's not terrible, and we get to move the cavalry unit down to R1 if in between that these haven't moved, obviously. So I think that's probably the better option. With that, we're only going to dig one more card deeper into our last 2 cards, unless we were to have a crazy attack, but no, I don't think that's going to happen, is it? Okay, well that was only 5 minutes rabbiting about it, so I'll just pause and make sure I'm absolutely sure what I'm doing. Yeah, so we're going to go with this one after keeping the card after last time. But then again, the new thing that happened was this unit repaired, now enabling it to infiltrate, which is the worry. So I'm going to activate the 3rd Armoured Division. So the 3 units, one in Liège, this guy here, and then this guy down here, which I've just had a little bit of thought about, but I'll come to him in a second. Now the big ones are, this guy's definitely going to go out and in, so he moves 1, 2, 3, breaking zone of control, and 4 into there. Now I think, I mean, yes, it will enable these guys to get into this hex across the river. They still can't infiltrate across because they're all mechanised, but it will let them get across into this hex. But I mean, unless I decide to move this guy up. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to do that, and I don't think there's any danger in moving this unit out of Liège, just to give that a much bigger strength in there, and hopefully avoid anything happening there. So the last option was this guy, and I actually thought, you know, I was saying about maybe using another card and having a silly attack. Well, this is 4 against 4 here. But I could reinforce the battle and bring another 6 strength into it. So it'd be 10 against 4. It would only be 2 to 1 odds, but it would give me 1, 2, 3. That's an elite unit. 4. It would give me 5 chip pools at 2 to 1 odds. Now that would be the playing of a second card. Now I've got 2 reinforced battle cards in my hand, so I'm kind of spoilt for that. And then it would let me draw my last 2 cards. Let's just think about that one. I actually think I'm going to go for this attack, and there's a lot of pluses to it. I mean, getting the last 2 cards at my hand just to make sure, because again, if I draw the core artillery now, I'm still wondering what the last card is. So at least now by playing this reinforced battle, and 1, 2, 3. What did I say? Was it 5 chip pools? Isn't bad. 2 to 1 odds. Yeah, so I'm going to go for this. So this unit's going to attack, and we're going to play. What's the thing? Remember, I keep forgetting I can play more than one combat tactics. Something I never really think about. So where are we? Play the play combat tactics. Let me play one or more cards. Combat tactics. So, well, I'm just definitely going to play this reinforced battle. This is one with the 12 core, which I can't see myself activating them anyway. So what have we got left? What did this say we had now? Well, that's going to be 4, 7, 10 against 4. Because I've got an engineers, but I had a wee thought about using that. I've got an idea to use that later. So the only other thing I could chuck in would be artillery. I'm just maybe wanting to keep a hold of that though. I think maybe just go with that. If it was bumping odds to 3 to 1 with something, then maybe I would consider it. Artillery is pretty strong as well, but no, I think I'll go with that. So that's 10 to 4. So 2 to 1 odds. And like I say, 1, 2, 3 units. 1 elite is 4 chip pools, and the reinforced battle is 5 chip pools. But the Germans are going to get to play a card as well. So that's me now got 4 cards in my hand, so I'm going to get to draw my last 2 cards. So that was part of the reason for doing this. Okay, so yeah, I've got the possible undetected defender, but I looked over this before. In the German solo game, undetected defenders can come from out of contact units, but that's not the case in the Allies, so it's got to be a unit in the reserve units box, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. And the only reserve units we've got in the reserve units box is from the first SS. So, would that ever get a match? Well, unless it, I think the army group card's gone. I think maybe that's maybe the only one that would work. Ah, you know what? We'll find out. So we're going to go with this, Grant, are we? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so here's the German card draw. Okay, 6 Panzer Army. Well, I'll tell you what. They're going to get artillery out of that. But I'll tell you what, I think we've had a good fair times in this game where this has happened. We've drawn really strong cards that if they were drawn for impulses, may have been devastating, and we've managed to draw them for combat tactics. And also that last fade, no, it wasn't a fading initiative. Oh, it was the air power, the air interdiction, wasn't it? And I got the 5th Panzer Army and the Army Group card. That was awesome. Okay, so give me a sec. Yeah, so like I say, that's not a match because this unit is from the 5th Panzer Army, not the 6th Panzer Army. But let's just say this had been the 6th Panzer Army unit, then we would check the reserve units box for a 6th Panzer Army unit, and we would find this is from the 6th Panzer Army, and this would come in as an undetected defender into the hex. So that was usually you're looking to match the corps or the division, but this was an army card, so if that had been say that had been from the 67th Corps or the 2nd SS or even the 1st SS, obviously it would drag this unit in as an undetected defender. But however, that's not the case. So they're going to play that as a combat tactic. They're going to get artillery and assault coordination, but they're not attacking, so all they're going to benefit there from is artillery. So we've got lucky again there. Okay, so right, it's attacking this time. So what's the minimum? The minimum's going to be 4, isn't it? So minimum, they've got 4 steps, and maximum of 5. They've got artillery, we've got nothing else. Okay, so we've got a minimum of 4 chip pools to draw, so let's get to it. Yeah, not great. We've got A2 up to now. We've got possible 1 more chip pool to draw. Yeah, I'm going to draw it. Probably shouldn't because I don't really think I can get much that's going to help this, but I'm going to take it anyway. Well, that was a mistake. City Forest on the other side is a D-2 and he's in the woods, so it's a D-1. So the hit that we did have on them is gone. Dear. Yeah. Okay, hindsight, it looks like it's a late attack now. Okay, 2 hits to take for us, so I'll take 1 on the 3rd armour unit in the forest. I don't want to disperse these guys. I don't think, do I? If I was taking 2 more hits, maybe, but the fact that it's only 1 hit, I should probably just take it. Oh yeah, and I've just realised I was going to take it on the cavalry unit, but I'm going to take it on the infantry unit. So although he only drops to a 2, he does come bracketed. But I've still got the 5th Corps card, which can assign 3 replacement points to the 5th Corps. And I've also got the Corps Artillery one in the draw pile, which I'm just about to draw, so I'm going to have both of them. And there's maybe just catch them here, just on the camera. This unit at the very bottom of this is reduced, so now that unit's reduced. So that does give me an option, makes it more worthy of playing that card to repair both the points, because the units are going to be in supply still. So yeah, I think that's the best we can do. Okay, that wasn't good, but yeah. sometimes they go for you. I don't know what, you know, what, I mean, he had armour as well as us. He's in the woods. You know, there probably wasn't a lot of chits that were going to help us there. We probably needed to, maybe I should have considered that a bit better, but okay, so well, we got rid of a 6 Panzer army card, which is awesome, because that could well have been a Kampfgruppe thing up here. In fact, yeah, it would have been. It would have activated all this stuff. That's so lucky again. God. I've had my luck with some of the card draws at the right time, haven't I? Okay, so that was my combat tactic. That's away. Right, so yeah, that's a bit moved. Nothing else to do. So let's draw these last 2 cards. The first one, okay, well, it's not what we were hoping for. So there's the core artillery back. So it's 18 core, and that's the primary card. So if I'd worked things out, I probably should have known that's what it was going to be. Well, actually, yeah, it could let me possibly have that attack down at Marche. So it's still a something. Right, okay. That's Allied Impulse over. So now we're hoping that the 7th Army, I think there are cards away as well, and I'm sure the 53rd. In fact, is that not both of their cards away? Primary and so it's unlikely they're going to activate. We're still hoping that none of them move down to block off Firewall, and then we can activate the 3rd Corps next turn and give that a go and attack that unit outside Bastone. Right, okay, I'll just pause this in case I need to, but I'm hopefully going to come straight back, but just in case I need to make a wee cut. So I'll be back soon, guys, okay? Cheers.